Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and 2 interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived. And we're back.
Good morning.
Good morning, Caroline. Again, Allison is not with us on this episode. We miss you, Allison. You would have just ripped Dave apart for what he just said. But we're going to save it. Isn't that true?
So true. I can't even imagine.
You know what's the best part about her? And we're going to talk about her because we love her.
Yeah.
She's so quick.
Yeah. So
Right?
smart.
Like, sometimes too quick.
Sometimes too quick.
For my
You have to think about it. But that's a quick way.
Yes, she is so brilliant and funny, and you can't be that quick and funny without a mind that works so fast.
I
and
agree.
So synthesizes things and spits it out, and it's amazing.
And I was actually having a conversation with you at Party in the Park with Remy because I was just saying how smart you are and how analytic you are, and like the way that you can put words together. We both are astonished. Like you are just so brilliant, and I love you. So I have to tell you that.
Thank you. That feels so
Dave,
good.
don't you think her vocabulary, it's just the way that she words things, right? It's so
Yeah.
smart.
Wicked good words. Wicked good words.
There's his compliment.
That is an underrated talent to be able to come up with the right words, because when you're forced to do it, I'm sitting here going, yeah, words really good. Yeah.
But, that goes back to an earlier episode where I shared about my history and having thought I have a, learning disability of sorts. And I had to be hyper verbal when reading was so hard for me. Wow. So I think that's probably where it comes from. It's just.
Well, it's an amazing gift.
Thank
Really
you.
is.
Thank you.
All right. So we never finished questions from before. So Dave actually has questions for us. So why don't we start with his?
Sure. First question for you two is, how do you develop someone's look, and does it or should it sort of reflect their personality? Because I've struggled with my own look. As I said to you before we started recording, I know it's hard for you to believe that I actually have a look. Viewers, you can't see me right now, but this is not the best ensemble today. But I've struggled over the years. Do I want to be cool guy, or am I getting too old to be cool guy? How do you think about that, developing someone's look and having it reflect what they're all about?
Do you want me to start?
Absolutely.
Well, I think, first of all, when I work with people, I never want to change who they are. So I think in some regard, if I were to go in your closet, I would have an idea of where you're headed. And I think everybody has their own personality. So I want to bring that out in your dress as well. I don't want to totally change who you are. I want to only elevate who you are. And so I think what you struggle with, and you can correct me, is when we get to a certain age, we don't want to look like we're trying to be young, but we want to look good. We also don't want to age ourselves. And so I think there's a really good way to do that with great clothing. Tailoring is key in those regards. Mm-hmm. If you wear something oversized, kind of you look dumb. I mean, it maybe doesn't fit your age. But I think that if you get things tailored and you wear things layered, and there's certain ways you add a belt, or you wear a cool sneaker that actually could go day to night. These are things to invest in that you will have over a long time, and also spend more money on your clothes, because as we get older, cheaper looks cheap. It just does.
Yeah. The actor John Krasinski used to say that his style is lucky casual. He says he throws together a bunch of casual things and then hopes he gets lucky that it all looks nice together. And that's kind of mine. But you put your finger on it, Tara. The one thing that men, I mean, I'm over 50, that you want to avoid is you don't want to be trying too hard guy. That's the worst.
Right.
Wearing like I know a guy that wears a chain like over his T-shirt with the it's just, oh boy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, not now. Yeah.
But I think too, first of all, you're not Adam Sandler, so you can't get away with that mishmash crap shit. Like, I mean, he can do that. He's Adam Sandler. I saw him when I was home. I saw him, and I was like, he was dressed exactly like, I thought my kids' heads were gonna pop off because he literally looked like he does.
Yes.
In that mishmash, but he can do that. But you can't, and most of us can't. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but really, who can pull that off,
Right.
you know? So I think it's really about, when I think of my husband and maybe you know, yours, it's really about finding the balance and the correct fitting and, you know, knowing who you are. I mean, my husband is not super conservative. I know some men are, and they go into that big, like, tucked in shirt with the belt, with the blazer. Like, that's fine. That's great if that's your style. But, you know, just be true to who you are.
I think that's the best advice. True to who you are and get a good tailor.
Yeah. Even for women, getting a good tailor. I mean, really, I have a tailor that will come to your home, Dave, if you'd like. She's amazing, Yola.
Okay.
And, but, you know, because I'm 5'2", I've had to get everything tailored. And sometimes it's just not worth it because the whole pant is different.
Yeah. No, it can change the whole cut and look and everything else.
And I think shoes, I'll stop after this, but I think
No.
shoes are a really big thing for men. Men, first of all, don't buy shoes forever.
Right.
And then when you do, you guys get sticker shock. Holy, that's what it costs? Yeah, because it's been 10 years. But the beautiful thing is you can buy an incredible shoe and it will last 10 years.
Yeah. It's
You
worth
know?
it.
I do need to know, is everybody on board with, I want to say sneakers. They're sort of fancy sneakers. Like, not too different from the ones I'm wearing today. Of course, listeners, you can't see. But with suits. There are dudes wearing sneakers with suits. Does I feel like wear a leather shoe, wear a dress shoe. Am I wrong?
There are, I think, in certain contexts, like
Yeah.
if you're working at a startup and that's your vibe, that's fine. But if you're walking into the boardroom, no. If you're going to a wedding, absolutely not. Like, know
Thank you.
your
Okay.
audience. Although there are very nice leather sneakers that can pass for a great shoe, but I always opt for the nicer. Like, just go nice, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that they can add like a fun contrast. Like my sons, when they, you know, have gone to different events, they'll wear those Cole Haan lace-ups, like leather
Yes.
sneaker ones.
Those are nice.
But yeah, and it just brings it just down a little bit if they have a suit and a tie and, you know, everything else going. That sort of adds that element of unexpected contrast, which I think can be fun. But it's also young and youthful and, you know, puts their spin on things.
Yeah, which I appreciate. Caroline, your son, I forget which one wears those suit all the time?
William.
Now, what kind of shoe does he typically wear with his suit?
So when we were in Spain, he bought a pair of shoes that he's had for a long time, some Ferragamos or something. And, you know, that's already like 5 years ago. So he's been wearing them. He uses them. He gets use out of them. But he'll do the Cole Haan lace-up sneaker thing too. He has a pair of jeans that he has to wear for his a cappella group, but I'm like, oh my God, let me look at you in those, because he will not wear jeans. Like, that's the only time he's worn them, is to dress up for something out of role of himself. So I know, so
I
funny.
know, I love it.
So
I love
funny,
it.
yeah.
Anything else, Dave?
We do have another question. Are you ready for another one?
Yes.
Okay. The question is, what, to your memory, has been your most unforgettable outfit that you were so proud to wear? And question number 2, your most forgettable outfit. So you can take either or both.
Oh, that's so good.
You wanna start,
Oh my
Caroline?
gosh. Well, my most memorable, that to me is, you know, maybe this is cliche, but on my wedding day, my wedding dress. I loved my wedding dress.
What was it like?
So we went to Priscilla's of Boston, my mom and I got to stand on the pedestal with the, you know, mirrors and everything. And Priscilla Kiddo, actually, her son was my dad's roommate in college. So it was like this connection and all this like just feeling around it, right? So it wasn't really the dress, it was the emotions that were laced into the dress and woven into the memory of it for me. But it had Swarovski crushed crystal right on the lapel, and it was like a a Jackie O kind of collar, and then fitted, and then kind of a tulip train.
Ooh, I bet it was beautiful.
I loved it. So yeah, what's your favorite?
Well, let's talk about when I thought I was a stylist in the 6th grade.
Oh yes,
Yeah, you guys only know this is going back.
This is gonna be good.
And everybody was wearing white like washed jeans where it was like white, but you could see the brown stitching. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like
Not acid washed.
not acid wash, but it was kind of like to that effect ish.
Okay.
So I had this brilliant idea that I was going to bleach my own jeans, and my grandmother kept telling me, Tara, the bleach is going to eat the stitching.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So
What do you know, Grandma?
I go to school, by third period, I was sitting in my underwear. I couldn't not get up from my chair. I was dying because the bleach literally ate the entire
all
thing.
the fibers.
All the fibers.
They disintegrated underneath you.
I stood up and my pants were on the ground.
Oh, sweet Tara.
Yeah.
Oh, my
That's
God.
what I learned. Like, probably just stick to dressing people and not designing.
Wow.
I know.
And that was in the 6th grade?
6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would have been worse if it happened later in life, I would think.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Humiliation among 12-year-olds?
And
Jesus.
nobody would help. I was like, can I have somebody's shirt? Yeah. So I got to tie that thing around my waist.
Yeah.
Figure out what to do. And then, of course, when I called, she said, I told you so.
Told you so.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
But
pretty
I
funny.
have, there's so many outfits that I have really liked. There's so much thought that goes into, for an event and things. I loved my wedding dress too. I just don't think that I had very large boobs. I was telling my girls, I'm like, I don't think that you'll be able to wear my dress because it had such big boobs,
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. It was a Vera Wang. So pretty.
So pretty.
We didn't hear Caroline's most forgettable.
Oh, yeah. So, gosh, my grandmother's 100th birthday. We took a lot of pictures because it was a really special day. This is my dad's mother. And I had this pink dress on that was this taffeta pink, but it was kind of like sleeveless. And in all the pictures, I just hate the way I looked. I was just like, ugh. And it's like a, innocuous dress, but I just didn't feel good in it.
Right.
I remember, I look at the photos and I'm like, yuck, why did I let myself get out of the house? And I actually do this with myself now. Like, how do I feel in this?
Yes.
How do I feel in this? Like, I almost put on this Diane von Furstenberg skirt this morning, and I just was like, ugh, it feels tight. I'm not going to feel good in my body wearing this, so I got to change. And that was part of my disaster.
I absolutely love that you're saying this because when people want to have family photos or it's a bar mitzvah, I'm dressing a whole family right now. I always say you got to feel good in what you're wearing because then it shows through in the pictures. If you love what you're wearing, like think about our weddings. We're so happy. We look beautiful. We love our dress. We're happy because we feel good. Now, if we felt terrible in our looks, it shows through. Like you have to love it.
Absolutely. And every time I look at those pictures, I'm like, that freaking dress. Should never have worn that.
Goddamn dress.
I know, but I wish Allison were here now because I know one of her hilarious outfits was Party in the Park last year when she had a swan on her head.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
That was, well, this year she had antlers.
I know. She likes to poke fun at the event a little to just be like, don't take it so seriously, people.
I appreciate that.
Me too.
100%.
Me too. I know. Aw.
So let's do another listener question. One that we were about to address last episode. What was that? Career change?
Yeah, no, I think a few of the themes that I saw from some of the questions people had asked were like, how did you have the confidence? How did you have the guts? What made you feel like you could switch gears career-wise? Number one. And I think inherent in that is the secondary question, which is like, did it take a certain level of like financial means that you could pivot? Like that's a big thing to be able to do. And I want to name, in general, like, listening to our podcast, it could sound privileged. It could sound, and we are privileged. Like, I feel so lucky and so grateful for so many things in our lives. And what we tend to talk about are the lighter things in life. But hopefully people know that we don't think this is rocket science. We don't think this is something that is, important to the extent that, a lot of other values and important things are out there.
Right. And also, I always say this is because people know my story now. It's like, I worked really hard. It's taken a long time. I'm not even where I want to be. And there's a lot of setbacks and there's a lot of doubts and there's, it's being an entrepreneur. You take 2 steps forward and 10 steps back and you hear no, you hear yes, and you celebrate the wins.
Absolutely. Yes. There's a lot, and there's a lot of stress and a lot of risk and a lot of, I think the self-doubt comes in a lot. And that's why I think pinging and ponging with Allison is so helpful, because sometimes we'll go to a client for the first time and I'll be like, what are we going to do? Like, I don't know if we can do this. This is, nope, we got this. We'll have each other to bounce things off of, but you're more of a lone wolf in that too, right?
Yeah. It's always, when I go full force, always.
Always.
But and I always have for this whole business. And I think people don't necessarily understand unless you're from a business mindset of, I'm the only one that's going to make this ship sail. And so you can judge all you want. Maybe I don't make the right decisions or the decisions that you would make. And maybe I step back from things because I'm choosing something else, but it's my business. And so I have to take all reins and I have to just go for everything.
Well, you do. You are such a go-getter, and you like just to show up to a podcast and be like, okay, what are we talking about? Like, not everybody can do that. I've been thinking about these topics and I've been going over the questions
that's
for
not fair.
days.
I kind of put it on you because I know you will. So that's not fair. But the thing too is like, I know I love you and Allison. I think you guys are great. We come from a similar backgrounds, and I just knew it would be great with you guys. You're great.
Thank you.
All right. So we still didn't.
Yes. So how do we pivot? But actually, I'm thinking as you're talking, when we were in role of psychotherapist, I was in private practice. It was the same thing. The buck stopped with me. You might not agree with my decisions. You might think that I've done a, wrong therapeutic intervention in this moment. But so I wonder if that gave us a little bit more of the tolerance of how to do this, and pivot into something else, like, the design and fashion stuff.
And I think the biggest, which we have to stop soon, but I think the biggest fear of anything is failure, right? Because I think with anything that you start, or even now, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next? Like, knock on wood and blah, blah, blah. And my husband's always laughing, why you keep knock on wood? You have a business. And it's because there's always this fear.
Yeah.
But that's being an entrepreneur, I think.
Yeah. But I would think, kind of summarizing some of the things we were talking about, it's you putting a stake in the ground. You were at preschool with your kids and you're like, I want to do this. Right. And if I fail, I fail. But I think that mindset is so important to just, sometimes you can overanalyze something in a business plan and let me write it all out and get my spreadsheets. And it's like, just start.
Just start. And I'll end with this. If it's your passion, I really believe if it's your passion, you can make it happen.
Yeah. You're the total walking presence of that.
Thank you. So are you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this week's Shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your shortlist.
Shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.